Hey, Blue Table fans! Today we're going to take a look at some Beastclaw Raiders. The Ogre Kingdoms book has been resurrected into 2 or 3 sub-factions in the Age of Sigmar. Now these models were assembled and magnetized by the client, and I have to say he did a pretty good job. You can actually, these heads are magnetized here, not that one. 2 of them are, not that one. There we go. 2 of them switch between Stonehorns and Thundertusks. And the magnetization is so good you can actually pick the model up by the head. And it's been done really, really well. So hats off there. These guys have like 10 different shades of earth tones put down as their base coats, from US English uniform colors all the way to the fur, which is actually flat flesh by Vallejo, and I think it gave it this really nice natural feel to it. So tried to keep them grungy, did a few little conversions here, like these beat up undead shields that have been affixed there. And I have a new appreciation for this kit. There's really a lot to it. And the client actually didn't put on a lot of the accoutrements that hang down from these things, which is nice. That's just one thing not to, potentially break off during play. But I love that they have these little rings here on this major belt across the back, almost as if they were used for towing. Like, these guys are on the march. And the Beastclaw Raiders are, for the most part, an all-mounted, very mobile army. Oh, a little Skaven gong and bells here, which I think adds a lot to that model. And in fact, this head comes off. I really like how this Celtic sort of shield turns out. And again, that's a skin tone to get that nice golden color, and that just made me really happy. Definitely want to do one of these for myself. As you know, I'm going nuts for my Age of Sigmar armies nowadays. And in fact, before we look at the rest of this, let me show you my prototype Orruk. Maybe I can get your opinion on this. So it's tough because whatever I pick, that's going to be repeated through the army. And I really liked the black and the red. I thought that really was kind of a very badass color for them. And if you're wondering about this very earthy skin tone, that is khaki. And I think khaki is a really good color for orcs. It's sort of this brownish green. And when you put it over black and like a brick base coat, it really comes out as a very, like its skin. Very believable skin. So anyway, the black and red is how I went, with some grays and bone colors in there as well. And I think that's the way I'm going to go. Would love to hear your input. But anyway, back to the Beastclaw Raiders. So here's the extra heads and extra magnetized parts. I did each one of the blood vultures a little different from the other ones, just to give some variety. And in fact, I was careful to make sure that little things were different from model to model, not only in terms of minor conversions that I did, like I cleaned up a Tomb King's shield to become kind of this generic shield. And this is affixed to a metal plate that's normally on this location. So it actually makes sense that that would be there. As you can see, the ropes sort of converge on this one thing. So I tried to keep the logic up, but like this piece here is red scales on one and green scales on another to hopefully make them all look just a little bit different from each other. Now, when I do mine, I'm going to go nuts on the conversions, and let me tell you, each one is going to be really something. Now, what's interesting is in the Beastclaw Raiders army list, these guys, if you just take Beastclaw Raiders, these guys become troops choices, and unless they have a character on them. And so you could really you could have an army of these, and quite frankly, this is an army right here. I think, I can't remember offhand, I think they're somewhere between 300 and 500 points each. I mean, these guys are bad to the bone. Now, for ogre skin tone, when you're doing an ogre's army, the skin of the ogres is really a big choice that you're going to make. And I went for this, for Vallejo Somber Gray, which is the same as Space Wolves Gray, which is a bluish gray. And it makes them stand out in terms of they have like a very unique color to them that isn't anywhere else on the model. The rest of it is kind of these warm earth tones, but the ogres themselves are very cold. And I think it works. I like it. I would do it on my own armies. Now, also, as a note, this is an example of an army that is done with artistic license. You always get a discount with artistic license on your painting. And as you can see, I didn't do anything crazy. People are sometimes afraid we're just going to go off the rails with artistic license and it's going to be something terrible that they're going to hate. But actually, I think it turns out better because it allows the artist to just follow their muse and use the best ideas and materials that are available to them at the time. And for the month of September, still a few days left, you can get 40% off your painting cost with artistic license. That is a huge break, an absolutely huge break. And really, it's definitely at the lower end of the price tag that you typically find for commission painting, but you've got BTP reliability and experience coming in there too. So guys, this is some Beastclaw Raiders. There's about a zillion goblins that go this, but you're probably not going to see those. Oh, and then there's this guy. I don't know what his deal is. I think he's just going to go on one of the bases as sort of an escort. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you got your inspiration for the day.